Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh. So for today's video, as you guys can see by the title, I wanted to create a video based on one of the questions that I keep seeing in the comments of one of my other videos. The question that I saw multiple times was, how do I get a guy to cuddle with me? I think that there's a lot of different ways in order to tell if a guy wants to cuddle with you, but I think that there's also a bunch of different ways that you can kind of put yourself in those positions and get that guy that you do like to kind of want to go that extra step and to cuddle with you. So a lot of you guys that are watching this, if you're not in a relationship, hopefully that eventually if you guys are, this information will be able to help you guys. So that's why in today's video, I just thought that this would be kind of an interesting topic to talk about. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments if you have any other questions. I'm gonna go through and try to pick some and answer those in the next couple months on YouTube. Also, if you guys aren't subscribed and this is the first video that you're seeing, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on. That way, when I do upload, you guys can just see it right away. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I love you guys so much. And here is the first way in order to get a guy that you really like to want to cuddle with you. All right, so the first thing that needs to be said about cuddling with a guy is that the first thing that you're ever gonna have to do is get yourself in that situation where you guys can actually cuddle. Sometimes when you think about it, you think like, oh, I'd love to cuddle with somebody, but then you get into like a scenario where you can't actually cuddle wherever you are, or if you're doing something, it might not be the right place to be doing it. So the best thing to do is kind of to set yourself up in order to actually be able to get into that situation. You need to put yourself in a scenario where if you guys were to cuddle, it would be the right place and the right time, and like it wouldn't be seen from other people as being weird. The last thing that you want is to like be cuddling with somebody and it being somewhere where everybody's kind of staring at you or you're making it really awkward. So that's the first thing. Put yourself in a scenario where you're going to see a movie, or you're going to watch a movie at his house or your house, or you're going out for a dinner somewhere and it's kind of like you guys are sitting on the same side of a booth, or you guys are going to a concert. There's so many different like scenarios that you can put yourself in where when you like do something like put your head on his shoulder or something, it's gonna be kind of one of those good places to do it. That's the first thing. Just kind of put yourself in that situation of being in a good place to cuddle. So the first technique that I think can kind of get the ball rolling and get him in that like mindset that you want to cuddle with him is you kind of have to like do something to initiate it. One thing that you can do is if you guys are sitting next to each other, let's say you guys are at a concert and there's like a super slow song on and this is like your first date or something and you're kind of wanting to give that hint off. One thing that you can do is if like you guys are sitting down or something, or even if you're standing up, put your head like on his shoulder, kind of just see what his reaction is. One thing that I have to say about any of this is that if you notice that his reactions are positive and then all of a sudden he kind of like looks at you and like smiles or kind of puts his arm around you and hugs you harder or whatever it is, if you notice that like it's a positive thing that he's doing, then you've kind of just set yourself up for whatever it is that you're trying to go for. A really good way to get it started is to just like easily just put your head on his shoulder and see how he reacts. Moving on to the second one, which I think that this one is kind of like a step up from putting your head on his shoulder, but I think that this happens. It might sound kind of cheesy and I kind of feel cheesy saying it, but one thing that kind of gets people in a different mindset when it comes to cuddling is when you hold their hand. I think that if you guys are walking somewhere, let's say you're walking like in a park and then all of a sudden you hold his hand and you guys like sit down on a bench, because you guys are already touching and because you've kind of gotten past that like barrier of your personal space. Also, another scenario when it comes to holding hands is when you're watching a movie. I think that there's been so many times that I've heard this, and it's like you're sitting there watching a movie with somebody and then all of a sudden you kind of like take the risk of like putting your hand maybe on top of their hand or on like their knee or something like that. I think that there's just something about touch and like especially if it's like holding hands, that you guys will get in that like mode of being like, okay, this person is into me and I'm into that person and then it becomes a lot easier to kind of be able to cuddle. If you are wanting to initiate it, that's another great way in order to kind of get it started is try to hold their hand. I think that it just kind of shows that you're wanting to do more than just sit there and talk to each other. And then it might be a lot easier to just start to get closer and to cuddle. So that's another one. All right, so the next one is kind of sneaky, and the reason that I'm telling you guys this one is because I think that this one might work the best out of any of them. One way in order to get somebody to be close to you and like a scenario that you can put yourself in that just makes it a lot easier is try to go watch a movie that's like scary or like a thriller. If you're not into like like scary movies, watch something that's like, I don't know, kind of like intense, where there might be a scene that you feel like you have to get closer to that other person. When it comes down to cuddling, I think that like the one before, like holding hands, that's a very like intentional thing. Like you're holding their hand and you're trying to get a message across. But I think that if you're watching a movie and there's like a scary scene on, or there's something happens and like you just move closer because you feel like you have to, even if they just put their arm around you, you guys just got so much closer and it became so much more easy to kind of make that feel more natural if it didn't in the past. So if you are trying to get somebody to want to cuddle with you, go see a horror movie, go see like a scary movie or a thriller or something. And then when it happens and you like feel like you just want to be like closer to that person, and then it happens, I feel like that's another great way in order to kind of get closer to them. So the last way, and like one of the maybe the harder ways to do it, if you're trying to get this guy to cuddle with you and you're trying to figure it out in the situation, one good way, if you are a person that's not kind of afraid to speak how you feel, if you just have really good communication with this person that you're hanging out with, one good way to, in order to actually just cuddle with them, is to ask them if they want to cuddle. I know that it sounds kind of weird, and like if you're sitting there, it might be a little bit difficult to think that you'd just be like, hey, like, do you want to cuddle? Another good way, if you're not like that confident in it, is to wait till he is the person that actually initiates it and puts you in that situation where he shows that he wants to cuddle. Cuddling is one of those weird things that you do it when you both like each other. So if you guys have already gotten past that stage and you guys know that you're into each other and that's why you're hanging out, then if he really wants to do it, then he might be the person to kind of go to try to hold your hand. Sometimes you can just wait for him to initiate it. You don't have to be the person to kind of show that you want it. Yeah, those are a couple different ways in order to kind of like cuddle or get the guy that you're with to want to cuddle with you when you're hanging out. All right, so those are the different things that I came up with for today's video on how to get a guy to cuddle with you, or like how to get yourself in that situation. If you guys have any more questions about like trying to get yourself into a different situation with a guy that you're like hanging out with, or if you just have like questions about a relationship that you're in, leave those down in the comments, because I go through and answer those questions in these videos. Also, thank you to all of you guys that are already doing that and leaving questions. It makes it like really fun to like go through and answer you guys. And also on Instagram, I go through my DMs every day and I answer like so many of you guys. All the questions that you guys have are usually, I'm surprised at how long the questions are. I go through that every day and I go through like a ton of them and answer a lot of you guys, trying to just like talk to you guys and figure out what exactly it is that is going on with you guys and your relationship. So, but yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank all of you guys for subscribing and being part of the videos and always leaving such nice comments and being so supportive. I really appreciate it, and I love every single one of you guys, especially of those of you that like send me a bunch of messages on Instagram and Snapchat me all the time and stuff. I think that it's really fun to just connect with you guys all the time, and the community that we have created over the last couple of years has become like such a family to me, and I love it. So thank you guys so much. I'm trying to upload more videos on my vlog channel, so if you guys aren't subscribed to that, you can go and check that out. I'm gonna be going to Australia. I'm gonna be uploading a lot of vlogs on there when I'm there. Also, all of my Instagram pictures and stuff, I'll be updating and putting onto Instagram. So if you guys wanna see us in Australia, then go and follow me on Instagram and on the vlog channel. But with all that being said, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you next Saturday in next week's video. Bye!
What'd you get?
Mayo.
Oh, just bread and mayonnaise?
No.
Oh my god, guys, this acai bowl is so good. Look at this.
More than it is. It's really not.
Do you like it? It's freaking unreal. This reminds me of backyard bowls in LA.
He told me he thought I was just...
This camera takes forever. This camera takes forever to focus. Alright, going to Blue Mountain now.